My Hero Academia.
Oh, yeah, Brian.
This is My Hero Academia, chapter 334, Parting Gift. Last we left off, Shigaraki for all for one is what we
Shigaraki one.
Basically managed to absorb the quirk of Star and Stripe, but it managed to before she went down, Star and Stripe basically made her a rule on her own quirk that stated that Star and Stripe will not live within a vessel that has more than one quirk because it will always revolt against the other quirks. And it's just been tearing Shigaraki for one apart inside for the last 5 minutes, and he is stressed hardcore. He is not having a great time about it. He's trying to get away, trying to find somebody to pawn the new order off to before all of his quirks are destroyed from the inside. And that's where this chapter starts off, as he's flying away and thinking like, "Oh, damn it, no matter what I do, I can't escape All Might." He is constantly haunted by that. And he just, like, I guess, breaks the sound barrier and escapes the jet fighters that were accompanying Star Stripe. And one of her buddies is like, Star and Stripe, of course you surpassed him. You've always been the greatest hero. Very sad.
Very sad.
But at the same time, they're probably like, shit, we don't get to die today. Because the whole time she was like, prepare to die, boys.
Yeah, I'll bring your remains to your family. Don't worry about it.
And they're like, all right. Okay. Meanwhile, we cut over to this kid named Kashiko Kashi, who is a convicted robber and murderer who was one of the people who escaped the Tartarus, or one of the prisons, earlier when Shigaraki for one broke them out. And he's just like lambasting the other villains, like, who would have escaped prison and just start fucking shit up in the city? I moved far away from the city so I can get a second shot at life. And unfortunately for him, Shigaraki just breaks through, looking not great right now. And he looks over at this Kashiko kid and he's like, Miss Star's likely assigned a rule to her quirk that prevents it from residing amongst other quirk. In that case, I'll steal this bystander's quirk, and once he's quirkless, I can grant him new order and preserve it. And man, right at that moment, Star and Stripe from within Shigaraki for one is just like, nice try, idiot.
Negative.
Absolutely not.
Surprise, motherfucker.
And it turns out that thanks to the other quirks that live within Shigaraki for one and were fighting back apparently against New Order, at some point, like, they all managed to destroy New Order from the inside. So now he just doesn't have that quirk anymore and he can't pass it onward. But in her passing, in her final word, she basically just tells him, as long as people stand up to save each other, someone will inherit that will of heroism. And make no mistake, they will strike you down. All for one is not impressed. He's just like, give it a rest. The winner is the one who lives longest, so take a hike, dead lady.
He would say that.
Yeah, disrespectful. He's so mad. You could see like the creases of his eyes actually forming underneath, like his brow just shriveling up. He's putting on a brave face, but he's pissed off. Meanwhile, in the depths of All for One and Shigaraki's husk, I guess, there is the childlike visage of Shigaraki, thinking about what Star and Stripe says. He's just thinking, some hero, Midoriya. So
very creepy.
Yeah, very sad. He's calling out to Midoriya because he is pretty much taken over at this point. After all this hubbub subsides, we get a little bit of narration about how after this whole thing happened, the hunt for Shigaraki resumed immediately. But unfortunately, he disappeared without a trace. The other heroes from across the world have been prevented from leaving and aiding Japan because Star and Stripe got killed, so they're not prepared to lose their best heroes defending another nation. So they would rather their people would stay there and protect them than die in Japan, apparently. But the jet fighter pilot guy is actually talking to All Might and the other police members about what happened, and he says Star's death wasn't in vain. Each X-66 we rode on, which is the jets that they were riding on, holds data from the battle. They were each recording biosignatures and analyzing every quirk during the fight. Hopefully that data will provide a lead. So
they were 100% financed by TaxDot.
Yes.
That's the rocket.
There we go again, man. Saving the world with our tax dollars. America, fuck yeah! Anyway, the next day, which is basically 2 days after Midoriya returned to UA, All Might announces that originally the tomorrow from the present, I guess, is when Shigaraki would have had a perfect body, but now he'll just be out of commission thanks to Star and Stripe's efforts. So now they'll use this time to their advantage and take down Shigaraki and All for One. This was a short chapter, 16 pages. Was the last one short as well?
It felt longer than that.
Right. I mean, there was a lot of good detail. I feel like this was, in terms of exposition and all that stuff and events happening, this was a pretty well-paced chapter, I would say.
I'm confused about it, something though. So it's over for the quirk?
Which
the
quirk?
New Order quirk?
Yeah, New Order is gone.
It's gone. He can't give it out.
Nope.
Or he can't.
He tried. He couldn't because it was already getting destroyed by.
So this was essentially a tool to buy some time and show why they won't have help from the rest of the room.
It also handicapped Shigaraki pretty hard. It killed a couple quirks.
Yeah, it served to nerf Shigaraki for the most part, or All for One in general.
I like how she called him John Doe.
Yeah, because nobody knows All for One's real name.
Yeah, that was some petty shit. She was like, yeah, so, well, since obviously I don't know who the fuck you are, I'm going to call you John Doe.
Yeah.
Whoever I'm talking to is always going to be a good guy here to smite you.
Yeah, basically.
I think this was a sick way to nerf Shigaraki.
I mean,
I thought it was cool.
Like, they did really good with this shit. Like, Hokoshi actually knocked it out the park.
Oh, yeah.
Because he had us thinking that Shigaraki was going to be fucking OP and unstoppable with this new fucking quirk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he perfectly subverted expectations by making it a drawback instead of an upgrade. That was really, really smart of him.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, we were like kind of predicting stuff down the road that not Shigaraki, Horikoshi kind of threw us for a loop for. Some things we got right though. We knew that Star and Stripe was going to be dead, and in some way or another she would not have her quirk by the end of it. But I do appreciate it, and it doesn't feel like a complete waste of time or like a waste of story. And Star and Stripe didn't really feel like a wasted character because she did have a major impact on the story in that now All for One doesn't have as many quirks and is significantly weaker than where he started. Even with Shigaraki's kind of perfect body form, he'll probably be downgraded to a certain extent. And the scales are a little more even at this point. Because Midoriya right now would probably have zero chance against All for One if he had completely taken over his body. So now there's a little bit of a glimmer of hope. And it's not entirely hopeless for him either, because it's cool that now he can actually chase certain powers that he needs, and he's basically starting from the midpoint, I guess. He's not all the way in square one, but he's got to take stock and make more preparations, and he knows that he can't exactly just go all out like he planned. This might take a little longer now. as a result. But yeah.
Also, what this little mini arc also accomplished is that thing that Horikoshi's been doing for a while now, and it's like a constant shift in power. You know, like during that battle arc against Shigaraki and everybody, it was always like, holy shit, this is going to be really bad for the heroes, and then the next chapter they'll swing back and turn it around. It's just a constant like back and forth. And Horikoshi, I think he's starting to perfect that a little bit. Like during that last arc, it was a little it was very how do I say, it wasn't as effective as this one, just because the scale is a lot smaller and the battle is a lot more straightforward. So he was able to do that slap back and forth thing that he does all the time in a really, really good way. It started off a little weak just because we didn't really know Stars and Stripes as a character. Like, when he first introduced her, I just thought she was just some fucking American asshole, you know? And as the chapters went on, you started to develop like an understanding for the character, and you actually, I don't know about you guys, but I actually ended up enjoying her by the end of it. And it's a shame that she got taken away before she could have like done more. But that was the point of that confrontation, is that if she met with Deku, it would have been lights out. This shit would have been over on Japan.
Yeah.
So I think this chapter, these chapters were fucking sick, and I hope he does more with that. I feel like he could do more with that.
Yeah. No, it was a good little condensed arc. I mean, you know, it's really funny because like over the past few weeks, you could see me and Josh like growing on it. You know, like we were both like, "Well, this is actually pretty good," and we started off just like you, Brian. We were like, "Start straight, it's America." Fuck yeah! But it was a lot of fun. Josh, you had a question for us earlier today. Would you care to ask it?
Oh, how many months left of My Hero Academia?
Yeah, I mean, I think I hinted at this.
Thinking like between 10 and 18 months.
Whoa, that was a lot more generous than what you said during the before the pod.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Oh man, see, I'm sneezing because I'm changing up in my body. But I think they can stretch fights and make certain situations that happen in like 2 days last almost an entire year in real life. So, I mean, One Piece does it all the time. Another series does. So, My Hero can too, but I don't think it's going to exceed longer than like 2 years. I'm putting a hard deadline on it. No longer than 2 years.
I would say 2 years is a fair estimate. I think it'll probably be around there too, because I mentioned this a little earlier, but just like I said, Shigaraki is All For One is now kind of like in the midpoint. He's lost a lot of quirks, and I know that he'll be like, I need a bunch more quirks before I can actually start to do shit. So there's gonna be
probably go on a hunt.
Yeah, there'll probably be like kind of a hunt for quirks and a little bit of time. We have like a week now, so there'll probably be. I would love it if there was a little training arc for this 1 week instead of just blitzing after Shigaraki. Just a little rest in the action. Honestly, I think that's what the story really kind of needs. Is just
you know what I think is going to happen the next arc?
What?
So the next arc is probably going to be All For One going after some of the retired heroes' quirks. Some of the weakened and retired. Like the Power Fist dude. Or Hammer Fist, whatever his name is.
Death
they could go after him, they could go after Mirako, they could go after even what's his name? Shit, how do I forget his name? He's one of my favorite characters. The teacher?
Oh, Aizawa?
Yeah, Aizawa. They could just start targeting heroes that aren't fully recovered from the battle and try to steal their quirks.
Yeah, I could see that.
In retaliation.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. But I agree with that. I don't know. It feels weird because like I feel like all of those heroes would be heavily guarded, so I think it would think better of that. But there would definitely, I wouldn't be surprised if there would be like just an absolute hunt for Quirk's arc where they're trying to protect people. But yeah, those are my thoughts on My Hero Academia this week. Do you guys have any closing arguments?
I think Brian's really onto something because Midoriya, came up taking a whole bunch of notes and analyzing a lot of these heroes. So it'd be kind of fucked up and crazy if like all one was to take a lot of their abilities. Mm-hmm. But it would also make sense for Midoriya to know how to counter them, studying them for so long.
Yeah. But very cool chapter.